Check one. Check two. We're going live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Good morning. Good morning. Boom. Pow. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. How you doing? Marcus Conte reporting. I hope we're on time. I hope everything is running smoothly on your end. Wow, what a day, what a day. So, two black women, not to finger race here, but two black women are in the hot seat this morning. One, which is a fascinating development in the world of distance running. Now, you may not really care much about distance running as a sport, but you can't deny the fact that when you think about human beings, the one thing that we do well, or the one way that we exercise and propel ourselves forward, is through either walking or running. So it is probably the most basic skill. Athletic skill or natural skill that the humans have. If we were talking about butterflies, for example, we'd say, look how beautiful that butterfly flies. Right? But with humans, it's running. And because it's running, we have to say, well, humans will do this. How far? What is the longest distance someone can run, a human being can run without dying? And or the more important one is against the clock. How fast can you do it, right? At any distance, right? It could be 100 meters. It could be, the distance, 1 block, right? You run from the front of your house to the corner and back, or a quarter of a mile, the 400 meter or the 200 meter or the 5,000 meter or 10,000 meter. And what about the marathon? Who can do it the fastest? So Ruth Chepngetich is her name, from Kenya. Ruth Chepngetich has shattered the world record by more than 2 minutes for the marathon in Chicago, and her critics are saying, no, it's too fast. It's not possible. I smell something funny here. She's probably a doper. In Kenya, they like to dope. Right? That's what they're calling her. They're calling the record breaker. Maybe it's racist. Maybe it's because she's black and woman. I don't know. It's not a good year to be a black woman. It looks like Trump is going to win, by the way. But this world record is now in jeopardy. The world record, it's not in jeopardy, but it's in question. And she's certainly been drug tested many times. And in this reporter's view, just on the preliminaries, I would say that the world record is very valid. This is a superwoman, right? This is like Superwoman, right? Ruth Chepngetich. She didn't just do it once, right? She broke the world record for the half marathon. She runs, sub 5-minute miles all day long, right? So she's a fast cat. And to denigrate the world record is like many professional, I guess, running commentators are saying that she did. So we'll look at that story. Also, Kamala Harris went into the lion's den. I commend her for doing that. She went on Fox News. Brett Barr, great journalist, asked her questions. Brett Barr grilled her. We'll look at some of the highlights of that interview. And Brett Barr even said in the Post that Kamala Harris deliberately showed up late to the interview. She was late to her interview, and then tried to because it was live, right? And they had a deadline, right? So Kamala Harris used that deadline to stonewall and or shorten the interview. which is, telling, I guess. This is how Kamala Harris operates. If she doesn't like who you are or what you stand for, she shows up late and then fights you tooth and nail the whole way, accusing the other guy of nefarious activity. So look at that interview. In my view, that was a flop for Kamala Harris. Trump continues to surge in the polls. Not really surge, but it's leveling off and leaning Trump now. And the indicator, the bigger indicator that I gave you yesterday, in my view, is the stock DJT, Donald J. Trump on the NASDAQ, DJT, going up as we lead into the election, which is, I don't know, it's not even 2-3 weeks away. We're going to have an election in America. And it looks like Wall Street is continuing to pour money in. Although it had a bad day 2 days ago, it came right back yesterday. So Donald J. Trump's stock, the indicator of who will win this election, in my view, is look, you say Donald J. Trump and you see how you get a warning? Look at this. Look at this. Well, I'm now on the warning list. My bit rate went down. I'll try it again. Donald J. Trump. The great Donald J. Trump. Let's see if we can make it go ready. There it goes. It went red again. See, I'm looking at something. I'm looking at a different metric. But it is. I apologize. I mean, this is the age we live in. If you want to continue this age of incredible, unprecedented censorship, flooding immigrants at the border, forced vaccines, and all this other crap, that the Democrats are for, boys in the girls' locker rooms and such. If you want to continue that, trying to stack the Supreme Court, dumping trillions on Green New Deal, right, when people are fucking hungry. Anyway, so good morning, everybody in the chat. Born Vicarious is here. Weevil Girl is here. Ryan Rosado. Good morning, Ryan Rosado. I saw Vinny DiMartini in the house, man. What's up, Vinny? Vinny's here. Joel C. Yellow Gold. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So this is my thumbnail today. This is Ruth Chepngetich, the woman from Kenya who smashed the world record, 209.56. And that shit was dope. Was that dope? What difference does it make, really? Right? What difference does it make if Ruth Chepngetich smokes weed or fucking, I don't know, if they find out that she was chewing on some exotic Kenyan herb, it's just fucking chewing on it, spitting it out while she's running. Who cares? Does it really matter? If a human being can remember, she is the fastest person on earth to run the 26.2 miles, right? The fastest. No, you could fucking take, you're going to tell me you could take any old runner and shoot him up with something and they're going to win the marathon? It's not going to happen. She's getting the Barry Bonds treatment. Remember Barry Bonds? Barry Bonds hit more home runs than fucking Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and all the others that were lined up. He hit more home runs in a year than Mickey Mantle. He smashed every world record in baseball, hitting the ball 770 fucking times over the fence in his lifetime, and more than 76 times in 1 year. So fascinating. And then they accused him, well, that's because he was a doper. He did something. I'm not buying it, right? I'm not saying there's no evidence at all, zero, that Ruth Chepngetich doped the marathon. Zero evidence. I'll say that again. There is absolutely no scientific evidence on the table. No one has ever seen her dope. No test has ever come back positive for dope. Nothing. But instead, the commentation has been, she must have been doping because nobody could have beat the world record by 2 fucking minutes. She cheated. She's a cheater. That's what they're saying. So we'll look at this. Marcus Conte right here reporting while he still can before the big scrub before the election where everybody gets silenced for cyberbullying, or at least some of us do. And with that, again, with no evidence, right? I when YouTube sends me those emails, oh, your video from 3 years ago indicates that you may have been cyberbullying, and we're going to strike your channel. It goes right to spam, right? AI, all of the YouTube nonsense that is sent my way, I send it right to spam, right? And block your fucking email, right? That's how it has to be, right? So this is the morning report, educational, philosophical. It's not confrontational or cyber hacking or bullying. It's nonsense. Right? So every morning, 9 a.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right here in the great United States of America, right before our great election. That happens every 4 years, and then everything, people forget again and go back to sleep, most people. And stop talking about it. And I couldn't tell you, if I had to count how many times I've heard Kamala Harris's radio commercial, because I listen to the radio a lot. I listen to the radio when I'm in my garage and walking around sometimes. I listen to FM radio. And I've heard the same stupid commercials over and over again. With Kamala Harris, right? Kamala Harris dumping, I don't know how many millions of dollars they dumped into Pennsylvania. And my name is Kamala Harris, and this is what I would do for our country. And she talks to her nose like this. When I was born, I was raised in a middle-class family, just like you. And she goes on and on about it. It's just horrible, really. So let's start here. Here's let's start with the commentary. Ruth Chepngetich 209.56 marathon. Let's listen to some of the commentary and step through it.
There's obviously skepticism from the people that study the sport, but isn't there always when someone smashes a record? It just seems unbelievable, but then it raises the bar for everybody else to chase, and we see more amazing performances on the heels of it. But I feel like in the sport, we're in a cycle of people believing they can do it. Weldon, you were talking like I just assumed it was Sudame Kebede that was running 209 pace because she's new to the sport. But there was a few women. Jocelyn Jepkosgei could have been that person. Ruth Chepngetich runs this way every time she has been in Chicago, just like reckless. And we as commentators and people on the sidelines watching are like, this is way too fast. She's gonna die.
Right. This commentator, who's also, I guess, a distance runner, is saying that this is what Ruth Chepngetich did in the marathon in Chicago is not unordinary for her running skill. She's done it many, many times at many, many different distances. So the accusation of doping is unreal. It's just, look, world records come from out of nowhere. They get shattered, and people are like, I can't believe it, right? When Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, it was unthinkable. He must have been on some kind of fucking, bait from Mars or something. He must have. How did he do it? And then 25 people go right behind him and do it. So just, you're going to see the women's marathon number come down significantly from here. This is not going to be the first time a woman breaks 210. It's not going to happen. They're going to do it over and over again.
She fades, but she never really falls apart or dies in a race. And she held on this time. And she did slow, but she didn't slow much.
No. All right. So that's one commentary. Let's just keep going through. Here's Ruth Chepngetich at the Chicago Marathon press conference, and some reporter asks her straight out, there's a doping problem in Kenya. Does it include you? Watch this.
Unfortunately, in recent years, there's been a number of doping positives in Kenya. What would you say to someone who says, when they see 209.56, just says, this is too good to be true? I have questions about it.
She's like, what are you talking about? What? Huh? Now, don't construe her inability to answer the question as being not wanting to answer the question. She's from Kenya. They speak English in a different way. She doesn't understand the question. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What does one thing have to do with the other? Right? She doesn't understand the question, but she's going to handle it anyway. Listen.
Some people may think that the time is too fast and that you must be doping. What would you say to them?
The time is too fast. You must be doping. Let's listen.
You know, people must dope, but people must dope. So I don't know.
She doesn't deny it. She says people must dope, and that's all I can say. That's interesting. She didn't deny it when asked. She did not deny the doping. Right? Is that enough evidence to suggest that she's doping because she doesn't deny it, and or she doesn't know how to deny it because it's English and it's not her first language? Ask her the question in Swahili and see how it translates. Right? She'll talk for an hour in Swahili. Right, but you're asking her a overly educated, intellectual, fucking stupid New York Times way of asking a question, and she doesn't know what you're talking about. So that's not enough evidence right there. And let's look at the rerun, crazy run ever.
We've just witnessed the craziest performance in running history. And this isn't the usual clickbait you hear on YouTube. We actually mean it. By far the craziest running performance of all time. And that was Ruth.
It really is the craziest running. This is the record breaker of all record breaks. Right? A woman runs under 2:10. Amazing feat in the field of marathon running.
Chepngetich, who yesterday in Chicago ran a marathon time of 2 hours, 9 minutes and 56 seconds. And before we get to the race itself,
this is like somebody hitting a baseball like 500 feet, or fucking the same with. It's like suddenly Tiger Woods, right? He's the greatest golfer in terms of teeing off. And Tiger Woods can hit the ball for like 400 yards. What if Tiger Woods one day just came in and hit the ball 600 yards? Right? That's what it is. It's like, wow, how the hell did he do that?
Some context into what this performance equates to in terms of other race distances. According to the Jack Daniels VDOT running calculator, Ruth's marathon time was equivalent to running a 61:56.
Look at the times. Look at the times, right? Look at her mile splits there for the marathon, 4:57 per mile. Half marathon, 4:43. For 15K, 4:40, 4:38, 4:32 at 10K, 4:21 at 5K, right? 4:20 for the 3 miles. That's fucking flying, right? So she's very comfortable in sub 5 minute miles, right? At every distance, right?
Half marathon, a 28:08 10,000 meters, a 13:31 5,000 meters, a 7:46 3,000 meters, a 3:55 mile, and a 3:35 1,500 meters. So if you take the women's 1,500 meters, for example, the current world record is 3:49. 14 seconds slower than Ruth's converted time.
If you want to say she's cheating, you can say, well, she was paced. But these guys were paid to pace her. This guy and the guy in front of her were paid to hold the pace at 2:10. Is that cheating? No, it's not cheating. That's just fucking what you do, right? That's their running partner, right? That's not cheating. Pacing is quite normal in sport events like this. They're paced on the track. They pay guys to run really fast for half the distance until they fall apart, and then they get out of the way and they let the contenders fight it out. But these two guys, that's hardly could be considered cheating.
Obviously,
they're all running with Nike shoes, by the way. These shoes are like super shoes. They got to bounce. Like, you could say that too. Oh, the shoes, they bounce. Fucking 10 years ago, they didn't have those shoes. Well, now they have them. They got the bouncing shoes, the shoes that bounce.
Be accurate, but it's just to show
so you don't kill your fucking legs and your feet.
How crazy this performance is. The current top 5 women's times in marathon history now goes 2:09:56, and then almost 2 minutes back is Tigist Assefa's 2:11:53.
Right, so it's so unbelievable. She broke the record by 2 minutes.
Which at the time was seen as impossible, and that was only last year. Third is Sifan Hassan's 2:13:44. Fourth is Bridget Koskai's 2:14:04, and fifth is Amani Shakule's.
Look at the years. Look at the years. This was I don't know when did it happen? What was the date? Oh yeah, date 2023. 2023, 2019, and 2022.
2:14:58. So between first and fifth, there is a 5 minutes and 2 second difference. If we took the same 5 minute difference in a men's marathon, that'd be the difference between first and 158th. So now we've shown you just how outlandish this.
Okay, so what is the controversy here? We know the deal. This is.
I'm feeling good.
I feel good.
My dream has come true. I have played for a long time. Since
I've been running for a long time.
5:47, and this 10:24, I've made it.
The English is not so good, but let me see you try Swahili.
I'm feeling good.
I feel good. This is my dream come true. I've been racing a long time, since 2022, when I missed by 14 seconds. This time, 2024, I've made it. All right, so nothing revolution.
The 2024 Chicago Marathon was absolutely insane, like a WTF moment for the world of athletics. So there wasn't exactly a ton of like for this race being a world record attempt or something like that, but we witnessed something absolutely extraordinary on the streets of Chicago.
Incredible performance in a world-class marathon field.
There was a bit of talk before the race
Check
that the
1, 2.
woman would be targeting something really fast, but I don't think most people expected them to do something like this. Following the male pacers and these pretty cool custom Nike Chicago Marathon singlets, it will be Ruth Chepngetich leading the woman, clicking off near 15-minute 5K splitting 15K in 45:32. That's averaging just over 15:10 per 5,000 meter split. So rolling along at sub 5 minutes per mile, and she kept going to split.
All right, I want to get to the controversy. Here's the controversy. There we go.
To talk specifically about.
All right. Now we'll see the real dickheads talk about it, right? These guys are like, I cannot believe it. It must be doping. I don't trust it. Watch.
All right, I'm joined by our senior news editor, Jesse Carveth, and special guest, editor at large for Marathon Handbook, 1968 Boston Marathon winner.
1968.
And author of The First Ladies of Running, among many other texts, Amby Perfoote. And we've got Amby on today to talk specifically about the world record that was, I don't know what the superlative is, smashed, destroyed, obliterated, whatever one you want to use, at the Chicago Marathon. If you are into running or you read the news period, you already know Ruth Chepngetich of Kenya ran 2:09:56, the first person under 2:11 and 2:10, breaking the world record for by almost 2 minutes.
Yep.
The reason why we're talking about this today is because we feel like there's an elephant in the room with this conversation.
He has a feeling. He has a feeling. The man has a feeling. That's all he's basing it on. We have a feeling here. There's an elephant in the room. Okay.
Amby, I don't know about you. We'll start chatting with you because you wrote this great opinion piece that just went up on our site that's entitled "Why It's Hard to Trust Ruth Chepngetich's Marathon World Record." I got a lot of texts from a lot of people after.
Oh, the liberals. She can't trust. She has a trust issue.
Finished that race, and wasn't to congratulate me for running the race. It was to question her performance. And you were very quick to email our team and start chatting about this because you're pretty worked up about it. You're pretty upset about
This
it.
is
You're unusually troubled.
This is sports snobbery right here. Snobbery. Hold on a second. Get out of my way, commercial. I don't either.
Michael, thank you for the invitation to talk today and to write that opinion piece. I'm using terms I don't usually use because I'm not an inflated kind of guy, but I'm morally outraged by this time. It just does not pass the smell test.
I'm morally outraged. It doesn't pass the smell test. Where's your evidence?
And I think it's
Show me a piss test that she fudged.
blow against women's running in particular to have someone this far out in the stratosphere somewhere, and against all running, because performances like this just don't fit into the running world that I've been following for almost 60 years.
How don't they fit, you jerky? How doesn't breaking the world record fit? Of course it fits. Look at Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Right? He fucking shattered a 1993 world record at 2 miles. Right? It happens all the time.
Now, we'll get into a little bit more of the specifics, I'm sure. Let me acknowledge right away, I have got no evidence against this performance.
No evidence.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Of course, she hasn't failed any doping tests.
Hasn't failed a doping test, okay.
That we're aware
Check.
of in her 7 or 8 years of elite performing. So I've got nothing to stand on.
Has never failed a drug test.
But I know running. I know what people should be capable of achieving.
Oh, shut up, you old man, and
I know about
break your own world record.
the differences between male and female performances, and all of those things came crumbling down on Sunday in Chicago, and I don't like the smell of it.
Uh-huh. He doesn't like how it smells. It doesn't smell right.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Yeah, we should reiterate very clearly. There is no evidence that Ruth Chepngetich has cheated here.
Okay.
Of course, there's...
But why are you speculating that she did? You just can't believe it? You can't believe it because you see a foreign black woman from Kenya speaking half-ass English and running with 2 huge black men in front of her, right, as pacers. Like they outsmarted the thing. They're better than you. Right? They're better than you at what they do, right, or what you try to do. And just swallow that.
Doping controls that take place after big performances, certainly after this performance, it would be very shocking if there wasn't a doping test done afterwards. So I can anticipate that before the world record is ratified in the coming weeks and months. Usually it takes a couple of months to ratify a world record. Who has sort of distance runner.
Yeah, when I think of cycling, the most recent and I guess prominent example I can think of is the last 2 Tour de France.
All right, so I don't even want to hear what this woman has to say. Let's change gears here and talk about United States politics. I'm sorry if you were waiting for this, but we'll talk about it right now. Vice President Kamala Harris grilled on pivotal issues as election nears on special report with Bill Barr. Now this is fucking chalkboard, scratch your fingers on the chalkboard stuff. Kamala Harris is in my view very difficult to palate, to have to sit and listen to. And God help us if she's running the country. I see a very defensive, argumentative, combative, unworkable liar. She says, Trump we got to get away from all this rhetoric. And then she bashes the Trump with the same type of rhetoric. Right? She's a politician and not a good one. She seems very weak, and that's just my take on it, right? So let's listen to the question. The big question here is immigration. You're going to hear Kamala Harris try to blame Trump for the crises on the border. Trump's screaming, "Build a wall!" Fucking nobody comes in, right? And then Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, once Trump is gone, say it's his fault. Right? It's amazing.
And specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
How many?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And
it's a topic of discussion, but it's a bad topic. Fucking corruption.
I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you
now,
just a number? Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point
is the number. How many millions have you let into the country? That is the point, Kamala Harris. Don't change the point.
is
That's what Democrats do. We'll change the point. Let's get to the point. No, the point is the point is in the question. The question was asked to you, and you changed the point. That's defiant. That's bullshit right there.
we have a broken immigration system
Yes.
that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished.
I'm not
we
finished.
We have
It's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of
system.
Excuse me, I'm not finished. Right? That's the kind of diplomacy you're going to get on the world stage. Excuse me, I'm not finished. Right? I'm not finished.
6 million people
that
have been
needs to be-
released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question, I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a
And
number
there's the nervous laugh.
of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So, looking back, do you regret the...
I don't see that as the biggest problem with illegal immigration. Desperate people committing heinous crimes. But I see it more as the dilution of the workforce in America. If you flood the workforce in America with, guys, people, and kids and women that'll work for $2 an hour, you're hurting the American people and you're hurting the economy overall. You're driving everything down, right? You're driving the working class down and elevating the ruling class, really.
Decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration.
At the beginning of our administration,
Yeah.
within practically hours of taking...
This is a complete fabrication. What they're doing, what the Democrats did was they found a piece of legislation that they promoted after the election, and nobody was in favor of it because it probably had all kinds of pork in there, things that nobody would sign on to give more money to the... Look, money is not the problem at the border. It's not the problem. If you build a wall and have a strong policy of not letting people through the fence, then you solve the problem. You don't need a lot of money to detain people. You need to keep them out. She's totally stupid on the solution there. But she's gonna tell you that it was Trump's fault. Watch.
The oath. The first bill that we offered Congress before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the... Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But
you have to let me finish,
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate,
I'm
and they didn't bring up that bill.
responding to the point you're raising.
Okay.
So argumentative. She's all about, it's my turn. I speak now and you shut the fuck up. It's horrible. Horrible diplomacy.
Pennsylvania has a clear...
Commercial. This is what it's like to live in Pennsylvania. You get bombed with these ads. Bombed.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing...
Ryan Rosado says, wasn't it 11% to combat illegal immigration and the rest was for foreign aid? Probably. A lot of times they'll present unpassable legislation to look good, and they stack in so much pork, meaning that it's money that goes elsewhere, and they bundle the bill. They bundle the money going elsewhere, like foreign aid, for example, or national defense, and they bundle this money with the other problem of the crises at the border. Right? So it becomes unpassable to anybody who presents it. And because it didn't pass, that's Trump's fault, right?
A problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our...
Look at fucking Brett Barr's face, man. It's like, I got to deal with this shit, man. How much are you guys paying me to do this?
Asylum system and put more resources, getting more judges. What we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings.
Yeah.
What we needed to do to deal with...
Oh, such talking points, Camilla. Kamala Harris has all her talking points in line. I bet she's looking down at her little iPad, and I bet she has a fucking someone speaking into her earpiece, which is her earring. You heard about that theory? That she wears her earrings are fucking electronic, and she could hear. She's wearing a headset.
Points of entry between...
Some of her people are talking in her ear. Don't answer that. Say this.
Border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the...
She didn't support it. How many times did they say that Trump and that wall will never be built, it's a vanity project? How many times did Kamala Harris say that? And now she says it's Trump's fault that the immigrant... It's unthinkable, really. You'd really have to be an idiot to believe that, right? That's harsh. You really have to not be paying attention to believe that.
Most conservative members of the United States Congress to actually strengthen the border. That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States.
She's hung up on that bill. She wants you to focus on that bill that came through Congress, but that's only like a fraction of the effort, right? Most 99% of her effort has been to, they thought it was a winning idea. Immigrants, this is America, land of the free, home of the brave. Send us, you're hungry, you're tired, you're poor. And it turned out that that just wasn't the case.
It was a scourge affecting people of every background, every geographic location in our country, killing
Little girl says she's trying to run the clock. Yeah, absolutely.
People. It would have allowed us to put more resources into prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done as the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
She just keeps running her mouth. She keeps running her mouth. Close your mouth for a second and answer the question, and we wouldn't be having an argument.
Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it. I have done.
Listen to her say it again. Donald Trump heard about that bill and told them, who are them, to kill it. That's what she said.
As the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
Six Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is right.
That's so transparent. That's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous for her to say that.
A discussion.
How do you believe that?
That the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue,
I hear you.
But actually is focused on fixing it.
6 Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the 6 Democrats. But more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women
killed,
who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the...
This is, again, to me, this is not the biggest issue. I mean, my heart goes out to the people that got killed by some foreign dude who had no money. But that's it really is a fraction of the cost of this thing. People get killed all the time, for various reasons.
Men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before.
But if you flood the border with people like this, if one kills somebody, what about the other 500,000 that paralyze the economy.
A negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those families an apology?
She cannot face the truth outside of her talking point. No, Brett, you're just wrong. Brett, come on. You know what we're talking about. You know what we're talking. That's what she'll say.
Cases.
There's
no question about that. There's no question about that. And I can't imagine. The pain that the family.
She took a lot of acting lessons. I can't imagine. What did you study, Shakespeare?
Of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true.
It is also
that if
true.
a border security had actually been passed.
This is a fucking disaster if this lady gets in. Absolute tragedy, right? Really, really bad stuff if she gets in.
9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around.
The solution is always spend more money, more border, more money. You know, build the fucking wall. Trump had the idea, and then when Biden and Harris came in, they got rid of Trump's initiatives. They scratched all of Trump's initiatives for something else.
Round the clock, trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem.
Are you guys sick yet or what? Because I'm getting, this is frustrating to watch. Let's look at the market. I can't listen to this lady. Ding. Trump, there's trouble in paradise. A little trouble in paradise. What do we got? Trump stock down. Oh no, down $1, down 4%. NASDAQ is up 89. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 144, and the S&P 500 up 21. So everything is green right now. And let's see what we got here. I would call this still hanging in there. It's still hanging. Look at this upward trajectory right here on Trump stock from $12. We're already at 29. We saw 25 yesterday, buy opportunity, all the way up to 35. All right, this is the indicator of the stock market right here. Right, we're only 14 minutes into the session, and we're about to break 30, holding at 30 per share. Again, this is the great indicator. We could look at the polls all you want. We've been looking at the polls every day. But look at the money. Follow the money, right? The money is pouring into Donald J. Trump stock. If they thought he was going to lose, the stock would be $2 by now because it's hinging on Trump's success in the election. That's my take on it. So nothing really to report here, other than a green market. Market is green today. I'll give you another little bit of this.
Even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
No, there wasn't.
Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration.
Correct.
I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris.
I'm done with that. I'm done with Kamala Harris's interview. So thank you all for joining me. In my view, Kamala Harris fails her attempt to further confuse the American people about past policy and current policy and future policy. And I really do think that Ruth Chepngetich, her world record of 209.56 is outstanding. I think it will stand. I think it's a sign that humans are getting stronger and faster. We are evolving physically. That's evident. It's evident in the time, right? That when the road race, or take, I don't know, throw the human being in the water, right? We're better apt on land, but you can throw a human in the water and make them swim. And those swimming times are coming down too. I don't follow swimming, so I don't know the details of it. But swimming is getting faster. Put the human on a bicycle and they go faster, or throw the fucking javelin or the iron ball. Everything is getting faster and stronger. Lifting weight, that's another human endeavor. How much weight can you lift over your head, like deadlift? All getting more. So not for many reasons. And if it is doping, if it turns out that Ruth Chepngetich smokes the ganja, happiness, then she should be condemned. What if she, I think I would say that most athletes drink alcohol. I know baseball players smoke cigarettes. They chew tobacco. They got a big wad of chew in their mouth. Is that doping? You can't be. How you're high on nicotine the whole time, and coffee, coffee and nicotine, and beer. Most baseball players. Is that doping? No. But if Ruth Chepngetich finds that eating salami as opposed to bologna, then that's doping, right? So I'm not buying it. I think the world record is in place, and I think that you're going to see in competition, you're going to see the men's marathon go under 2 hours. Now, Eliud Kipchoge he broke 2 hours in a very controlled setting with pacers and such, and he did it. There's video evidence of him doing it, right? But it wasn't in competition. It wasn't with others chasing you to the fucking line, right? It's a little different. And so I think that the competitive men are going to go under 2 hours, the winners for the marathon, and as well the women will continue to. I don't know about soon. I think it might take a few years before a woman breaks 2:10, like Ruth Chepngetich did. So congratulations to them, and I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. My weekend has begun. Marcus Conte reporting.